working here at the Microbiological Laboratory at campus Helsingborg, and we are a part of Lund University here in the south of Sweden. We're mainly working with, at the moment at least, lactic acid bacteria, which are isolated from the common honeybee. And we do all sorts of experiments which are related to trying to find out how these bacteria work and how they are working together with the honeybee. And we do a lot of ordinary common laboratory work, and we also do outdoor experiments, and we also work with a lot of groups outside of Sweden. And so about the challenges that I faced before using eCAT, and the most important one, which I think a lot of people have, is of course messy notes from time to time. And yeah, you have good days, you have bad days at the laboratory, and in life. So some days it's fun to make very exact notes, and other days it's not so fun, and you just make notes of the most important stuff, and those days you usually end up missing things. So yeah. Also, another large thing is missing protocols. You have some things in your head, you have some things on a paper, stuck on a wall somewhere, and other things maybe other protocols is maybe in a binder somewhere, and someone has borrowed that binder, or you can't find it when you need it for the experiments. So I need a place to store my data, store my experiments, and also to store my protocols easily, and also to be easily found when I needed them. And another large point was also that I needed to be able to find my results of my experiment quickly when I needed them, instead of having to look through a lot of papers just to find some old data. Those were the main points for starting looking for an electronic lab notebook. And so about the results I've seen when using eCAT is of course the most important one, is quality improvements in lab note taking. It sort of like automatically improves your lab notebook. Everything gets more structured, and it also brings structure to the overall thing, since you have a project, and into that project you store your experiments, and you store your protocols, and you can add all sort of things or small things that belong to experiments to that protocol. And it also means that when we run an experiment, or when we set up a protocol or whatever, it's easily shared with other groups, or I can print it, or I can print it electronically and send it over email, which is a big thing when you're working with a lot of other people. So that has really helped me, and it looks professional also. So. Which means that it's more fun to share your data, because it's not like a scanned copy of some old bad notes that you made. And I think also a very big thing is it's actually fun to take notes now. It's sort of it looks good when you look at it a few weeks later. And so how I use eCAT, I basically use it for everything in the lab. As I've said, I use it for protocol experiments, set up projects, but I also use it for things that I didn't use it for before. So nowadays I add digital photos to my experiments. I can add screenshots of my HPLC runs, and I can add timestamps so I can easily see when I did it. Yeah, I guess those are the most important things. And also, I also use it outside the laboratory. I mean, as long as you have access to a computer with the internet, you can access your data, which is very good when you're visiting another place, or when you're home working, or you forgot your ordinary lab notebooks. And the things I like most about eCAT is that it's really simple to use and to get started with, and I think that's it's a very important thing to get people to actually start using it. If it's hard in the beginning, then a lot of people will just have a look at it and never use it. So I think eCAT it's easy to get started with, and it has a simple interface So yeah, it's intuitive. So it's also easy to configure, and you have like it's easy to make your own sort of experiments that looks the way you want them, and to make custom stuff. And of course it's also completely web-based, so you don't need any install software on the computer. This also means that it's available for all different operating systems, which is really good when you're thinking about how you will use this in the future. Maybe you're not going to use it on Windows, or maybe you will use it on, I don't know, Android or something like that. So that's a pretty big thing. And I also wanted to add that I think that anyone that wants to improve their lab notebooks should start using an electronic system, because it really improves your overall notes.